Hi, this is Matthias from John Chipalone's, and we are here in Haverford. We're going to talk to a customer where we installed a new heating and air conditioning system, and we did a ton of ductwork as well as some other stuff, and we're going to find out how it went. We have transitioned a lot of ductwork. We've installed a new heating system, new air conditioning system, along with some other features at her very unique house, very unique 100-year-old house.
Yep.
So thanks, Kate, for meeting with me today. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I grew up in this house, and this is the first time we've had a system that actually worked, not just worked for an old house, but worked beautifully. So we're thrilled to have you guys.
Great. So I know there were some very, very unique features, not only the house itself, but the system itself. Not only did we go from 2 heaters and 2 air conditioners down to 1 system.
Yeah.
As far as airflow, we did a lot of ductwork here to be able to allow the system to go down to 1 system.
Right.
Which is really the bulk of the work
right.
that we did here. Have you noticed anything dramatic that's improved around the house?
We've always had a double system on this side of the house, and then the smaller side of the house had its own, and that was regular. But this bigger part of the house has always had difficulty. Even though it went down to 1 system, it's working better than ever. We had, it's comfortable in here. We're able to monkey with the temperature in a way that we wouldn't before you guys were here. It would get too hot and we'd be sweating. So I would turn the thermostat 1 degree. Then it would blast cold air and we'd get too cold, and I'd turn it up. I mean, it was just a mess. And now it's smooth. It's like we live in a regular house.
Right. Not only is the house 100 years old, but obviously the ductwork was 100 years old. That's why we did a lot of that stuff. But one of the things that you stressed to me was, hey, I really want to be able to seal some ductwork, which I thought was a great idea, just because of the ductwork. Why was that important to you?
Well, several reasons. Efficiency, obviously. When this house was built, these fixtures were gas. So there was coal in the basement. It was a very different situation. And so over the years, it had just been ducts upon ducts upon ducts, and there was really no rhyme or reason. What I didn't expect, and which was great, was the being able to walk in the basement. So not only is it more efficient, but there's more room in the basement now.
When you have ductwork, you have a lot of leakage out of seams, out of duct seams. According to the government, ductwork leaks anywhere between 15 and 30%. So one thing we do is we seal ductwork. So you can see ductwork is put together using seams, using metalwork right here. You know, you got different, I mean, this is really old ductwork, but the same principle still applies. You put certain fittings together, and that creates a joint. Well, that joint tends to leak. So what we do is we use a mastic to paint this stuff. As you can see, all this stuff has been painted, as well as on the newer ductwork itself right here. This stuff is all painted or caulked. It makes a huge difference as far as getting the heating and cooling to the actual space that's used, and not have the basement be the warmest spot in the house.
You also, I'm looking over here because you went to each vent to make sure you knew where it went and whether it needed to be in use. It helps with the temperature of the house, but it also helps with, the efficiency.
Right. So one of the very unique challenges about this house was trying to balance the house. We got very big rooms here. It's a very old house, very unique ductwork. And if we look at this big kind of entryway here, you don't spend much time in his room, so it's really important to not overheat this space right here. As we can see, we got a really, really big register. The heater is literally right underneath this, so this register would have been really, really powerful. A lot of air would have came out of this, not to mention we have the thermostat in this room, which is about 15 feet away from this register. So if we could keep this room on the colder side, that basically means that the thermostat will keep the heater on longer, which will help heat the entire house and make it a lot more even. So one of the things we did here is we have a balancing damper downstairs. We can actually shut this register off. We were able to eliminate essentially this register without eliminating it, to be able to help balance it and get more air to the outside of the house. A couple of things that we did is, I know we upgraded your filter system here. We did a couple of other accessories. one of the things that you did not have before was a humidifier, and I think you were pretty set on having that as well. Mm-hmm. How did you hear about a humidifier? How did you learn about a humidifier?
You.
Okay.
Actually, everyone who came in to do a proposal mentioned that. I thought that was sort of for newfangled houses. I didn't understand that it went with the system. And also the air quality, the air scrubber.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the air scrubber, yeah.
My kids have asthma. Mm-hmm. I really have noticed a difference.
Great.
And with the kids and just the general, there isn't that sort of old house mustiness.
Right.
It's clearer, so to speak.
Yeah, the air scrubber is a phenomenal product, not only with what's going on today, but just in general, as well as the air filter. So that, the humidifier, air filter, air scrubber all kind of work in tandem to be able to help with comfort and air quality and safetiness of the house. So it's great. I know you've been a customer for a long time, but obviously when you put a new system in, as you mentioned, you get a couple different estimates, see what other people say, keep us honest, stuff like that. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. When we first approached this, I thought we would probably not use you, because when you have a long-standing relationship with a company, sometimes, it gets a little too complacent. Just to be on the safe side, I called a bunch of people, and it was between you guys and another company. But the other company, there wasn't sort of the comfort level with what was happening here. It was more of a attitude of, I'll figure it out, don't worry, I'm the pro, I got this. Whereas you, as you know, spent literally hours discussing the ins and outs of how the system works, how temperature works, how airflow works. The other thing is that you guys walked all through the house, which other people just looked at the system. So, you really got a sense of how everything fit together. And you asked a lot of questions. We were very pleased with the process from start to finish.
Well, thank you for that. That's great. Yeah, that's all the questions I had. Thanks for the time, Kate.
It's
I
my
really
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Glad you're still a customer.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching today. I hope you learned a little bit. If you'd like to learn more about us and some heating and cooling solutions, give us a call or visit us online.